So today we are with Mr. Daniel Osibajo. Did I get the correct spelling of that Osibajo?
Yeah. Oftentimes people mistake it for the vice president, Oshibaji.
Yeah, that. I was about to ask, are you in any way related?
We hail from the same states.
It's good to know. Now we can ask for our own palliative.
I really what you do say.
So we are with Mr. Daniels and his company, McDaniells Foods. Is a restaurant business and they also do deliveries and other stuff. He's going to be telling us about his business, the way he's building his business. He also trained a lot of people on how they can build their own restaurants. And today he's going to be sharing his story with us and how he got started. So what were you doing before starting a restaurant business? Because I know restaurant business is basically for women. So let's just say that because people believe that it's only women that know how to cook. How do you actually know, like, how develop the interest to start your own restaurant business?
Thank you for the question. I think first of all, the dynamics as is now currently changing. How that we've seen men taking lead roles in food business industry, not just in Nigeria, but every other country of the world. All right. Before now, I was actually a teacher. I teach, even though I still do that now. But I was actually a teacher before. I was teaching in primary school. Then I moved to the secondary school, and then I actually had a passion for food from beginning. You could imagine how secondary school days we will go to, a food seller that sells our going and bread, and we will spend most of our days, most of our time, eating. And also during holidays, I would travel to my grandma, and I will see how much she loves cooking, how much she puts more impact in providing food to the family. So I think from onset, I've always been around food. From being a foodie to have a grandmother who is a beautiful cook. So growing up, I was able to transform such passion into business, which is now making money now.
So when you were starting out, is it after your education? Where do you go to school actually?
Okay, I actually studied from Chartered Institute of Administration, where I had my professional training in corporate administration. I also went to Imo State University, where I had my bachelor's degree in business administration. So round, I've been involved in studying business. Even though I really don't like to call myself a chef because I haven't really attained a qualification in chef or in culinary arts, but I see myself to be a foodpreneur. Yeah.
Wow. So I can see that your history of doing business is not just today. So what actually prompted your interest in business? Because you going to Imo State University to study business, where even me, when I was trying to apply for JAMP, I thought doctor, engineer. Well, how do you actually have the interest in business from
there? I believe that one has to take one's time to study, to do rigorous study before you jump into anything. For me, before we started the food business, it's something I took time to plan. I had a business plan, and even before even starting, I had already registered McDaniells Foods under Corporate Affairs Commission, so that the name will not get lost or be taken by someone else. So for me, going into the food industry is something that I derive passion for. I derive love in it. I see joy. I find joy in seeing people eat my food. People shouting, "Hey, McDaniel's, we enjoyed you. We're going today." Stuff like that. Oh, we're going to bring much more people to come and buy next time. So those kind of things actually inspired me to go into the food business. And I must tell you that it has been challenging. All right, starting challenging finance, customers, supply chain, and the rest of them. But come on, here we are. We're doing great, and we've been able to impact life through our foods.
So, what are the foods you sell at McDaniel's? So, you said ewa going and all that. What are the type of foods?
Yes, when we started the business, we had a focus of selling ofada rice and ewa going and bread precisely. The reason behind it is because we've seen that a lot of fast food sell junks and these foods are not really healthy. So we think that one of the best thing we can do is to provide local delicacies. My father is grown here in Nigeria, precisely Abeokuta. He has been on the streets of Lagos for God knows when. All right, so we thought that by rebranding this product, putting it into spotlights, we have example of father boys who are doing well in the father industry. So we believe that when we are able to put this business into spotlights, we'll be able to make a name for ourselves, which we've been making. But we also have other products we do where people make requests to us. We do parties, we do catering events, we do jollof fries, small chops, and the rest of them. But Ofada rice and the world going has actually been a major strength, and that strong delicacy that people really buy from us.
Okay, I'll guess that you last day were going from the grammar, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I actually took there was a time I went to Lagos. I actually took a wagon. That was my first time. That was around 2000. It was actually fantastic.
Talking behind it, how that the Togos were the one who brought it into Nigeria, but
Wow.
seeing how people were able to transcend over time, how that even in the local, the trenches, we now see it were going everywhere. So putting a lot of a little touch to kind of our going makes it what we call McDaniel's Foods. No, we do that. In fact, we currently sell in a school, in a secondary school here in Lagos. We sell white rice, we sell spaghetti and chicken, we sell other varieties. I was only trying to emphasize that they were going on for the rice is a major products that we sell day in, day out.
After having the idea to start a restaurant business, because now I'm salivating to eat one of your foods. So after getting the idea to start a restaurant business, how do you actually go about securing the space, setting everything up? How do you actually, can you take us through the journey?
Oh wow, this story is going to be interesting and quite emotional because having finished from CIA, that's Chartered Institute of Administration, I graded as one of the best students in my sets. So I thought that having passed out as one of the best students, I was going to be one of the best food business owner in Nigeria. But it turned out to be a lie. All right, the first mistake we made was after we were done with our launching of McDaniel's Foods, we were even still not able to secure location. During the launching, we already leased in location where we intended to use. But after the launching, you won't believe that the people there told us that they're not giving it out for us again. So that's one problem that we faced. Another problem we faced was identifying our target audience, where we struggled to, to cater for our audience, whereby we could only sell to passers-by. We would have to struggle to go into commercial banks, to sell to them. And we would actually write a lot of proposals, to cook for their end of the year party. All right, so starting up was not easy. And when I see people starting up food business in Nigeria now within a month or two, and these guys are complaining, I just wonder where these guys started. All right, we've not been in the market for too long, but the few days we spent in the market, it has not really been rosy, except for a year or 2 years back, which we've been able to break even. We can now have profits, we can now pay staffs, we can now buy food products or materials. But when we started, I must tell you, I was actually using my salary, to pay staffs, to buy foodstuffs and the rest of them. So that's how the challenge has been for us. Even though we have some challenges now, we are very hopeful that we can always surpass these challenges.
Okay, you were actually working with a company while you were running McDaniel's.
I was actually teaching before.
Okay.
Right. When we started the food business, so I was doing part-time. So I would teach 2 days, then I would go to my restaurant 2 days. So Monday, Tuesday, we're going to be seeing teaching in class. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm literally carrying basket of foods on the streets to go to banks, So Monday, Tuesday, you'll be calling me a teacher. All right, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm actually a different person entirely. And that's how we
That's the spirit of entrepreneurship. Actually, there are some things you have to do at the beginning of your business that just to keep the business moving. That's an interesting one, actually. So your business is how many years old now?
Yeah, we started 2019.
Wow,
2019.
wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a very, very long time. But because personally myself, I always wonder how restaurants actually make money. Because you ask me to go into restaurant business, I will say sorry, I'm not I'm not doing, because I know the difficulty of having to manage staff, do this, do that, and at the end of the day, there are a lot of restaurants that they don't actually make it in business. You see a lot of them open 1 month, 2 months, they are already closed and all that. So what are the challenges you currently facing running this business? Because like I said, I know it's a very, very tough business to run. How are you coping with the system?
All right. First of all, we actually have a cafeteria that we run, not a restaurant, because we have it in this school. All right. So it's a cafeteria. And we also do online deliveries and also consultancy trainings for startups like ourselves. So the challenge we face currently, we hope to expand. Those are one of the challenges we are having currently. Not that we're not making profit. We are making profits. We're looking towards expanding beyond the school, so having a physical structure outside, our presence location, and that will be the leading us to finance. So we are hoping that in a few months we'll be applied to various grants, maybe by state government, or federal government, or international organizations, reaching out to them all that we need finances. So basically, we were struggling with getting to expand, finance, and also staff management. Staff management. We've seen issues of our staff steal from us. We've had issues of our staff would miss 2 days, 3 days without notice. We've seen issues of our staff would not use the right recipe to cook. Same issues with our staff would be so negligent with safety protocols like being hygienic and the rest of them. So these are the current issues we are having. But we are also that as these issues keep coming, we are able to surpass them and we build or we come up stronger.
So you mentioned that you have both offline and online system of delivering your products. So from your own experience, which one is bringing in the most sales? Is it online or offline?
For me, from my experience, personally, offline has actually been paying me. I must be sincere. Offline has been paying me money because I actually have a structure. If there's one thing startup need to understand in Nigeria or even outside Nigeria is ability to have a structure in starting up. I mean, you have people in place, you have your audience in place, you have your strategies in place, decision making in place. So these are structures that needs to be built. So we believe that with time we will be able to move much more further.
Okay, so you offline is your best bet, if I can say that. So how do you actually get people?
Offline is my best for now. Online has actually a medium for me to promote my brands. All right, I've been getting a lot of recognition as one of the. I guess last year I was among the top inflation brands of one of the 500 top inflation brands 2022, and we've been able to build personal brands. That's me personally. We've been able to do a lot of trainings online. What I really do online is online training, basically online training. But offline, I have a physical place where people can come and pick food, people can buy, and the rest of them. But that's not to say that people don't make money online. No, people make money through Jumia Foods. People make money through Glovo. People make money from Child Deck and the rest of them. And if you can actually make use of your digital marketing skills properly by running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, with a good taste of food and delivery, you can actually make money online, I must tell you. But it starts with building audience. It starts with building trust and credibility. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So for you now, your offline strategy, I can see that is very, very good and is working very well. And I want you to share some of it. Don't share everything so that people will not go and open shop beside you. So I want you to share some of the strategies you use to get people in the door, because you see restaurants, they don't have customers, everywhere is dry. So how do you get to convince customers to actually patronize you?
All right. For me, I think I will start with giving advice to restaurants first. I think it's high time restaurants do not just open a physical place and expect customers to move in. I've gone on those days where you just open a fine, beautiful restaurant, play music, and nobody is coming in. Where people come in, maybe one or two, except your Chicken Republic, you need to do a little of branding to your restaurant. But I think with what people do these days, online has been a very beautiful platform for them. And people who do not have money to be the restaurants actually do what we call private chefs. We cook for, top guys in Nigeria and the rest of them. So here is my advice for people who are just about starting up. I must tell you, the game is a very tough one. That's one. Two, you must be teachable. I mean, you must give yourself to learnings, rigorous learnings. You must learn about food costing, you learn about marketing, you learn about recipe management, you learn about sales and the rest of them, accountability. Because what we do here in McDaniells Food is that we have a structure in a school whereby students come downstairs during their break time and they order for whatever foods they want to buy. And we can be certain of, sales day after day. We can be certain that today we can make possibly of 35,000 naira to maybe 40, maybe 29. Tomorrow we can have the statistics. But when you have a restaurant outside without proper planning, you are going to go into loss, except you have a sugar daddy who sends money to you on a daily basis.
Wow. So from what you said, the strategy is taking your business to the customer, not waiting for them to come and meet you. So I can see that you also mentioned that you approached some banks in the past to supply food to them. Do you still do that?
Well, do we still do that currently? No, we don't do that. But we hope to do that this year. Last year was a year for us to actually rebuild our business, because during the COVID-19, we were a bit struck down by the COVID-19 pandemic. Even though some people made a lot of money, those guys who were able to tap into deliveries were able to get a lot of money from the pandemic. We have example of Jumia Food. These guys made millions. We had Chicken Republic. Chicken Republic leveraged, online deliveries, and they made good money. But people like us who had physical restaurants, we couldn't have people visit us in our restaurant. We couldn't have. So what we did was, I did a bit of online trainings about food costing and some other stuff. So I would advise that for people who are starting up, you need to know your onions, you know your game. You need to attend social gatherings. You open to networking, and you must be a shameless food seller. I must tell you, shameless. When I mean shameless, talking about those, you can be a witness of those women who sell, stockfish, on the roadside, and these women are not shameful. You see them okay on the street. So this time around, your working will be online. Your working will be to go to people's DM. Your working will be to post, your flyers online. Gone are those days where we start sharing flyers. Come and buy our food. You're wasting money. All right. With a bit of running a Facebook ad of 2,000 naira per day, you can actually reach over 5,000 audience. Unlike sharing flyers, which can be collected and thrown away.
What has been the most rewarding aspect of running this business? What's the most rewarding part of running this business? Let's assume someone wants to come in and start his own restaurant business. What's the most rewarding part for you?
The most rewarding part for me are two things. First of all, satisfaction from my customers is quite rewarding. When people give us testimonies, hey guys, we lost your offer today. Although we need to make a little bit of adjustments, but you guys, thumbs up. So that's one that gives me satisfaction. Another thing again that's I can call a reward, like you said, would be Profits, because there's no business in Nigeria that you have to run don't make it a profit, except you're running a charitable organization. In fact, charitable organizations even make money. They call it donations. They won't call it profit. They call it donations. Yeah, so those rewarding for uh, satisfaction from our customers, all that, sing praises of our name any day, anytime, and the profit we've been making lately. So those are the rewards for us.
Okay, I understand that every business has its own challenge, like ups and down and everything. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you in business?
Wow, it's quite funny. Let me shake you. The worst thing that happened to me, which I pray not to happen again, was one banker from a bank told us that she needed to do a welcome party for our staffs in the bank. She just delivered baby, and she has been off work for over 2 months. So she called me, haven't ate my food before delivering baby, that she trusts McDaniel's that we should just pack 70 jollof rice, 70 packs of jollof rice, and deliver it to our branch. She's a staff there. So she told us to deliver the foods to the branch, 70 packs. So that particular day, we had another offer somewhere, much more bigger than what she offered us. So I couldn't do that myself. My cook couldn't do that because we were very busy that particular time. So I outsourced it to someone else, a friend. I never believed it's going to be a mess. So I outsourced it to a friend who called herself a caterer. So she collected the job. She cooked the food, and I was doing the follow-up online. I was doing the follow-up on phone while I was there. And she delivered the food to the bank. In the next 30, 40 minutes, I started receiving tons of calls on my phone that, hey, my dad, in fact, till tomorrow, this happened 2019, 2020. Till tomorrow, I still have the phone recording on my phone. So that when I was teach people probably online, I play this to them to know that this food business is not gold. It's not a place where you can just come and relax. So that day was very worrisome. She put all the blame on me, even though I told her that it was a bit of an error, because the food, one part was done, the other part of the jollof rice wasn't done. And we had a manager heads, we had other top guys in the bank who ate. And this is something that is supposed to make the staffs happy that, oh, she's arriving to work. And people are complaining that, oh, the food she cooked wasn't tasty, was quite bad. And that was on us. That was on me in particular. The funny thing is that she only paid 70%. She has not finished paying the remaining 30%. I couldn't even ask her to pay the remaining 30%. She said, so the whole fault was on me. So ever since then, I had vowed not to outsource such kind of sensible job.
If you are to outsource something like that next time, what do you think you will have done differently to actually make it work?
Okay, first of all, I would ensure the food materials are intact, because I was told that the rice she bought from the market was actually poor, of low quality. I will ensure I'm getting it to a trusted hand, a trusted fellow, right? I'll also ensure I do the proper follow-up. Because if I can trust you to manage my business without behind me, that means I actually have a huge respect for you. So if I will do this next time, I will ensure that the person I'll be giving is someone who is trustworthy, someone who eats his or her food, I can have actually resonated with his or her brand. These are the kind of people I'll give it to next time, not just anybody.
For someone that wants to start their own restaurants today, what advice will you give them? The person doesn't know about restaurants, but they know how to cook. It's different to know how to cook, and it's a different thing to know how to run a business. So what advice will you give such person?
Okay, firstly, running a restaurant business in Nigeria is a very beautiful thing that any serious money person can leverage. But at the same time, I also advise that you take your time carefully. You analyze the audience you want to sell to. That's very, very important for me. The audience you want to sell to, you analyze it. You consider your pricing strategy. You consider your audience, which I've said earlier. You also consider your tastes. I mean, the kind of food you sell. Consider that, and your marketing dynamics, your marketing styles. Are you someone who likes to offer discounts? If no, are you someone who likes to organize a party and people come in and eat? And if you are someone who don't have enough finances to run a restaurant in Nigeria, I suggest you start online food delivery, because running restaurant business in Nigeria is quite taxi. I'm talking about financials, talking about supply chain, I'm talking about staff management, I'm talking about ability to sustain sustainability. So if you're able to have that with good knowledge about the markets, then you're good to go with restaurant business. But I must tell you, pricing is very key. Marketing strategies is very key. Your tastes, uh, your pricing strategy, and also your location. These things are very, very essential for anybody who wants to run a food business, especially restaurants in Nigeria. But aside restaurants, can you run other things in Nigeria? Yeah, it can be a food critic. It can be a private chef. Like I said, it can be a caterer, an online food trainer. You train people about food business. You can go into agriculture. You can package products and sell. So these are some of the things you can do aside from restaurant business in Nigeria. So that's one point.
So I understand that so now if I want to train as a restaurant owner, I understand that you have an online course that or an online class you teach people. So what are some of the things you take your students through? If you can share some of it with us.
All right. First of all, when people say they want to open a food business in Nigeria, one of the first things I recommend is you should get my book. My book is titled The Money Bag in the Food Industry. All right, this food focuses on the various niche we have in the food business around the world. It focuses on how you can identify your audience. It focuses on what are the basic things you need to know before you start a food business in Nigeria. So when these things are being read and you understand these things carefully, then we can now consider some other aspects, which will be marketing, which will be food costing, which could be understanding your menu, understanding your recipes, and ability to be ahead of your game. Yeah, branding has been a very useful tool to reach out to audience. So these are one of the basic things every inside food business national in Nigeria. Be careful of the kind of staffs you employ into your business, because some staffs can actually be very, very, very funny out that they are into take part of your profits. Imagine someone taking 1,000 naira from you daily in a month, that's 30K. So imagine having that in a year, you're going to be losing close to 600,000 naira. So it's very essential that going into a food business, you must understand the basics and you must be ready to face its act. Nobody's telling you it's going to be easy. So you must be ready to face it out.
Yes, every business is actually hard. So every business is actually hard. So I believe, I also assume that everything you are saying now is inside your book, right?
Yeah, they are.
So let me put it this way: how do you actually stay motivated as a food entrepreneur?
Now, for me, for a white growing up, I've always been someone who's very positive about life. I actually have a very positive mindset that everything is going to be fine regardless of challenges. I laugh a lot, I smile a lot, and this has motivated me to keep on going. At the same time, I read a lot of books from people. I've read books from Ben Cassie, I've read books from Otto Richard. I mean, a lot of them that I can't really mention. At the same time, I check people who are into this game, who are into this industry, guys who have succeeded in doing this. So this becomes my picture. This becomes my templates of full step. So when I watch these people, I check how these guys are doing their stuff. For example, we have Papa Farmer King. Papa Farmer King happens to be the biggest food critic in Nigeria. I was with him, I guess 2020. He was one who wrote the forward of my book. I've also been following our professor of food on Instagram. Some other people who are doing great in the food industry. So these people keep me motivated with my positive spirit. So I think I do not have any reason to be depressed or to have a negative mindset. So these people are my role models, and this is how I keep myself motivated.
Having a mentor is very, very important in what you do, from what you said. So like having someone you look up to in any business you do, doing the same thing probably at a larger scale than you as a mentor is very, very valuable.
Exactly. I just give examples of professor of food, Pharmacy, and also this particular person I would like to mention. That is the person of All Spices Foods, the person who cooks for CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria. He managed the cafeteria, or you can call it a book or cafeteria, right there in the Central Bank of Nigeria. So these people have been my role model, and these are people I emulate and look forward to working with in the nearest future.
So where can my audience find you? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, where can they find you if they want to connect with you? They want to learn more about food business.
Well, you most likely will catch me on Facebook. My name is Daniel Shibanjo on Facebook. But on Instagram, you can also catch me at McDaniells Foods. On Instagram, McDaniells Foods. On LinkedIn, I'm also there. You can catch me. My name there is Daniel Shibanjo on LinkedIn. I mentioned Facebook, Daniel Banjo, on Instagram at McDaniel's Foods, on LinkedIn, Daniel Banjo. But my major home, where I see day after day, is Facebook.
Wow, that's interesting. I've been to your Facebook page actually, and I can see a lot of delicious food. Hopefully, when I'm coming to Lagos next time, I'll come to your restaurant and actually have some taste.
Yeah, I look forward to having it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate. So see you. Thank you very much, and have a good day.